Welcome to this video. My name is Money Coach Joe, and 5 years ago I decided enough was enough and I wanted more for me and my family financially. What I want to do in this video is show you exactly how we've managed our finances over those last 5 years to put us in a position where we've been able to achieve goals like paying off over £80,000 worth of debt, growing our net worth by over £420,000, for me to be able to escape my 9 to 5 at the age of 32, and how we've set ourselves up to be in a position where we won't have to work a day past 42 if we don't want to. The way we have done this is by using the tool that you can see on the screen behind me here. So without further ado, let me dive into my screen share and walk you through the entire process we've been following to allow us to achieve these goals, so you can copy and paste it and use it for your own benefit. Welcome in. This is, like I mentioned, the tool that I started building 5 years ago when I decided enough was enough and I wanted more for me and my family. So what we're looking at right here is the first tab of this workbook, and this is the monthly balance sheet. And this is where it all began. This is the first tab I built, just to take control of our month-to-month finances and get a grip of what we were spending, where our money was going, and try and get it under control so we could achieve the goals that we had of initially getting out of debt for us. That was our first goal. So what we do in here is we set out our planned expenses in these plan columns at the beginning of each month. And map out our expenses as best we can for everything that we know is coming up in that month, as well as then tracking our actual spend against that plan and these actual columns throughout each month. And that is really the key, because if you're not doing that, then how do you know if you're on track or off track, and what you need to do to get back on track if you are off track, what you don't if you're not tracking it. So you need to track your actuals against your plan. The most powerful part of this tab of the spreadsheet, though, is when it comes to figuring out your free cash flow, because once you have put in your income at the start of the month and all of your planned expenses over that side of the spreadsheet, it's going to tell you what your free cash flow is down here for that specific month, because obviously things will change. There'll be months where you're taking trips, there'll be months where you're not, there'll be months where you've got to buy loads of gifts because it's someone's birthday, right? So this is going to fluctuate, but by knowing what it is every single month, you know every single month what you have to put towards your goals, whether that's getting out of debt or investing for your future or your retirement or for your child's future. Whatever your goal is, that's the money that you have in each month to achieve that goal. If I hit undo there, you can see that we were able to utilize nearly every penny of that free cash flow and distribute it between each of the goals that we have. You can see that we did leave ourselves a buffer, which I highly recommend for everyone, because there's always going to be things that come up each month that you cannot plan for, that nobody can plan for, because life is bumpy, right? But regardless of leaving ourselves around a 10% buffer, we were still able to achieve a savings rate of 55%, which is the highest we've ever achieved. We're consistently over 40%. We are targeting 50%, but to hit 55% was really, really cool. This tab of the spreadsheet also shows us our income versus our outgoings in this nice visual table down here, both on a planned and actual basis as well. So that's nice to see, as well as our spend via each category, such as housing, fixed costs, discretionary, gifts, car and home maintenance, and savings and investments. And this is a nice, again, visual confirmation that our money is going mostly towards our future, which is really, really cool to see. So savings and investments is the biggest chunk of each pie, both on a planned and actual basis. The next tab of the spreadsheet is where we take most of that information from the previous tab and copy and paste it over into here, but where we also track things like holidays and gifts and other one-off expenses on a cumulative basis. So once we, take a trip and we spend some money on that over, the period of that month, we'll come in here, rather than getting a breakdown for every single thing that we did and everything we spent money on, we just take the running total, because that's all we need. And we put that into a line item for each month in the holidays table, in the gifts table, and so on and so forth. So we can get a cumulative total of what we've spent on those categories each year. And that's really important, both to just know what you're spending most of your money on, because these tend to be the bigger, the bigger line items where a lot of the money goes, but also to see what your savings rate is over the course of the entire year. But mainly to be able to know and plan accurately for later life, retirement, early retirement, financial freedom, whatever you want to call it. Because if I was to ask you now what you're planning to spend on, or what you want to be able to spend on holidays, gifts, travel, things like that when you stop working, when you're retired, you're going to have to pull a number out of thin air. And that means that your retirement plan and your investment plan and strategy that you're implementing to achieve that retirement goal is not going to be accurate, which isn't good, because that means you could end up hitting that point in your life where you think you're ready to retire and realize you're actually coming up short on what you need to be able to live the kind of life that you want, and so on and so forth. So this means by following this process and using this specific tool that you see on the screen in front of you here, that it's going to be very, very accurate, because we can extrapolate out from real-time data that's based on this from your circumstances. So it's nothing else is going to be as accurate. Then we take that information and we put that into our expenses in retirement tab. And this allows us to calculate what our FI number is, our FI number. And that is the amount of money that you need saved or invested to never have to work again. And your FI number is going to be unique to you. My FI number is unique to me. It's based on my circumstances, my finances, the expenses I expect to have in retirement, as well as the lifestyle that I want to live. And then what we do is, once we know that FI number, we then work out how much we need to save and invest, obviously to factor in what we can afford to save and invest, and then come up with a plan to achieve that FI number in the shortest time frame possible, based on the various accounts that we are using, the returns that we are getting, how we're optimizing for tax efficiency, and so on and so forth. So this is a game changer, and this is the tool that's enabling my students in my academy to be able to retire 18 years earlier on average, by having a plan and using this tab of the spreadsheet to build that plan. Because we can factor in things like inflation, additional streams of income, defined benefit pensions, tax optimization, etc., etc. And I don't believe there is any other tool on the planet that allows you to do this as well as my tool allows you to do this, because we have a structured plan that we follow. Now, if that sounds like something that would be beneficial to you, like you want to be able to retire as early as possible, or even put yourself in a position where you have the option to retire as soon as possible, to live life on your terms and for you to be in control, then I will leave a link below where you can schedule in a call with me. No obligation. It's a free call just to determine if this would be a good fit for you. And if it is, I'll walk you through your options as to how you can join the academy and get your own custom financial freedom plan built for you within a matter of weeks. Moving on, the spreadsheet also tracks our savings and investments, which obviously at the end of July, beginning of August, have taken a bit of a hit. So they have taken a bit of a dip on this tab. But it also tracks our house equity and assets, our debts, and uses all of that information from those previous 3 tabs to calculate our net worth. And this is the most important part. Other than that first tab, which is where it all begins and you can't do any of this other stuff without it, this is really, really important, knowing your net worth on a monthly basis, because it's like having a monthly report out on the health status of your finances. And it puts you in a position where you can, again, make a data-driven, informed decision about what to do with your money on a week-to-week, month-to-month, and year-to-year basis to push this number up in the right direction and pivot as and when needed to get yourself back on track if you go off track. Now, I can look at this and I can see for the first time this year that our net worth has gone down by around £6,000. But looking at the overall top level picture and zooming out, I can see that from the jump off point of December 2023, we're still up £45,000. So I've got nothing to worry about. I know we're moving in the right direction. I know the reason for this fluctuation in our net worth to the downside, and I'm not worried about it. And again, that's put me in a position where I can make an informed decision about what to do going forward with our money, which is essentially keep calm and carry on. If anything, try and buy more whilst the market is down. So if you're not doing this, I of course highly recommend you go and do it. It's the whole reason that we have been able to put ourselves in a position where we have achieved those goals that I mentioned at the start of the video, eliminating all of that debt, growing our net worth by as much as we have, and setting ourselves up for early retirement. If we didn't have this tool, we wouldn't be able to do it, or we definitely would not be anywhere near on track, because we wouldn't be able to monitor if we were or not, and what to do to get back on track if we were off track, because we'd have no idea where we stood. We know exactly where we stand. We have visibility and control of our money, our time, and our future as a result of this tool. So the second link I will leave below will be a link where you can pick up a copy of this spreadsheet along with the ebook or video course, depending on what you opt for, and where you can start ultimately taking control of your finances. If financial freedom is a goal for you, then you can take this tool and start setting, tracking, and achieving your financial goals today. So if you need any help, please reach out, leave your comments below, and I will respond to every single one. If you haven't already, please smash the thumbs up button if you found this video helpful or insightful in any way, shape, or form, and make sure you hit the subscribe button, because I will be dropping regular videos updating you monthly on this every single month, and also on what I've been investing in every single month, as well as other videos covering how to manage and invest your money to become financially free. So Thanks for watching again. I'm Money Coach Joe, and I'll see you in the next video.